Hello and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today I have a few from scratch recipes for you, so grab your cup of coffee, a comfy blanket, and sit back and relax. This time of year can be very stressful, but taking time to rest the mind is so rejuvenating and good for the soul. In Matthew 11:28-30, it says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." How cute are these little sunflower coasters that my friend Deb made me for Christmas? I was so excited to use them this morning while I had my coffee and read my Bible. It's amazing how much a homemade gift is more special than going to the store and buying something for someone. All the hard work that's put into something like this means more. So, thank you, Deb, for my pot of sunflowers. I love them. Today we are going to make almond butter breakfast bars, sourdough English muffins, as well as a twice baked potato casserole with our dinner tonight. These almond butter breakfast bars are very versatile, so you can add any substitutions in that you would like. For instance, I am using 1.5 cups of coconut chips here, but you could sub 1.5 cups of rolled oats if you have an allergy or just a preference. And then I will add 1/2 cup of einkorn flour, and once again, you can use whatever flour you have on hand. Now I will add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. In this recipe, we added cranberries and pecans, but you have so many options you could do with these. You could do white chocolate chips with cranberries or chocolate chips and pecans. There's so many different variations that you could do. On to our wet ingredients. We will start with 4 eggs, and these are from our hens, and they are starting to slow down a little bit on the laying, but we're still getting about 3 or 4 every day. Next, I will add 3/4 of a cup of salted creamy almond butter. And since my almond butter is salted, you will not see added salt in this recipe. But if you are using unsalted almond butter, add 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt as well. Next, I'm adding 1/2 cup of honey, which you could also substitute maple syrup or coconut sugar or any sweetener that you prefer to use. Next, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil. Now I'm going to just mix these ingredients until they are combined. The add-ins I'm using for this recipe today is 1 cup of cranberries and 1 cup of chopped pecans. And as always, this recipe will be in the description box below. After giving it a good stir, we will place our batter into a 9x13 parchment-lined baking pan. Using a rubber spatula, spread the batter into an even layer. And here I'm just topping with extra cranberries and pecans. We will bake this at 350 degrees for about 28 minutes. Now we're on to our English muffins. This dough has sat overnight and is now fermented. I am adding 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 tablespoon of sweetener. I prefer to use honey here. Now I'm just giving this a good stir to make sure that the baking soda, salt, and honey are incorporated well. This recipe will be in the description box below. English muffins are nice because you can use them for so many things. We slice them in half and we make little mini pizzas or breakfast sandwiches or just toasted with butter. And you'll see at the end of this recipe that we had found some goat cheese at Aldi, which is so delicious. And the 2 variations that they have are a blueberry vanilla and a cranberry cinnamon, and they were amazing on these. Okay, no, keep it. Me coca. And there you see my little girl with the hot pads on, wanting to help her mama cook, and I'm okay with that. A lot of times I feel rushed and kids helping me is just not on my agenda, and it was good to slow down and realize it's okay. This is how they learn. This is how they spend time with their mom, and put my own desires aside and love them in that way. So at this point, my burner had been on the lowest setting. And when the dough has risen like this, you'll turn your burner to about 3 or 4 and let the English muffins brown like they are here. I prefer to bake mine a little bit longer, about 10 minutes at 325, just so there's no gooiness on the inside. And of course, we love bacon and eggs with our English muffins. This is a staple meal that we do probably once a week just because it's cheaper on the budget. It fills my children up because it's high in protein. And I am one of those moms that hates when her kids eat oatmeal for breakfast and then they are asking for food 30 minutes later. So this is a good filler of the bellies and everyone is happy. So here I am going to assemble our English muffins, and you will see at the bottom right there is the blueberry vanilla goat cheese from Aldi. It doesn't look very appetizing, but it is so delicious and worth a try. And both my husband and I thought that it tasted more like a cream cheese and less goaty taste, if you know what I mean. It was actually really good, and even my kid who doesn't love goat cheese loved it. And this is my husband's plate, and he was upstairs not too long after I called his name because he knew what was awaiting for him. So anyway, I hope you guys try these English muffins and enjoy them as much as my family and I do. We only have a few days left here of schooling before our Christmas break, and my kids are looking forward to the time off, and I'm sure they're looking forward to presents and a new year as well. But let's not forget about the wonderful counselor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, the little baby Jesus that came this time of year. On this same evening for dinner, I roasted a couple of chickens, carrots, and twice baked potato casserole. What's nice about whole chickens is that I can make bone broth with the bones for soup later this week. Here I am adding butter, salt and pepper, garlic and onion powder, parsley and Italian seasoning to the underside of the skin. I like to do it this way because I don't want my herbs to burn. You could also use a meat injector here as well. I was just kind of in a hurry, so decided to do it this lazy way. After this, I will sprinkle the birds generously with sea salt before I place in the oven to roast. For the roasted carrots, I'm just going to drizzle them with avocado oil and then a few cracks of black pepper and some sea salt. On to the family's favorite part of this meal. We have our potato casserole, and I have about 2 pounds of baby gold potatoes here in the bowl, already pre-cooked, and half a cup of whipping cream, 1 stick of salted butter, and 4 ounces of cream cheese. To that, add about 1 cup of your shredded cheddar cheese. And I know this is a lot of dairy, but on occasion, it's all right. And this would be a really good side dish to bring to a Christmas party as well. Now I'm going to use this little handy tool to mash all of this up. But you could simply use a hand mixer or a stand mixer if you have one. This is just what I like to use. Now for the seasonings, of course I use salt and some cracked pepper, as well as some garlic powder and onion powder. You could also use some smoked paprika or some cayenne pepper as well. We kept the cayenne pepper out this time because my husband wanted to use some of his fermented jalapenos. Now I'm just going to use my rubber spatula and mix all of that together. Now this mixture will go into my greased and seasoned cast iron pans, and this one will be specifically for my husband because it will have his spicy jalapenos, and the other will be for the rest of our family. I think the next time we are asked over for dinner or are traveling for the holidays, this will be one of my go-to side dishes that I will bring, just because it would be really easy to pre-make, and then you will only have to bake it and that's all, and it's ready to go. I hope you all enjoyed the simple from scratch recipes that I made for you today. If there is something recipe-wise that you would like to see on my next video, please let me know in the description box below. It helps me and it helps my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope you and your family have a very Merry Christmas.